Hey, folks, this is Mark from Like Minded Lunatics, and I'm here with Todd once again. And we are here to bring you episode 3 of The Adventures of Hero Man. This is a series that we are releasing every other week. This is the third part, and we're super excited about it. The title of this one is A Better Man. Todd, you got anything to say before we kick it off?
Just real quick, that the first one and maybe even into the second one, you're like, oh, this is all fun and games, but some drama is building, and it's getting awfully exciting. I hope you're enjoying yourselves. That's all I have to say.
Awesome. Well, stick around after the episode. Todd and I will have a little bit of a discussion about the episode where we can talk about spoilers and things like that. But right now, please enjoy The Adventures of the Hero Man, episode 3, A Better Man.
Do it. Konnichiwa, hero enthusiasts! Knock off that jitterbugging and let's get to listening! It's Hero Man! When we last left Hero Man, he had walked away from a gargantuan fireball that threatened to cook our hero through and through. Lucky for us, mere fire isn't enough to destroy the manliest man to ever walk the earth. We catch up with Hero Man outside the offices of Dr. Rosenbaum, and whom Hero Man is beginning to dislike intensely. Why, you may ask?
Because I don't appreciate being told I'm a bad father, that's why.
I didn't say you're a bad father, Daniel, but let's be very clear. You were somehow the cause of a massive explosion in the suburbs yesterday. People died, buildings burned to the ground, and Amy tells me that you'd completely forgotten about your son who was in your apartment. She had to call a friend to get Timmy because you didn't come home last night. Amy and Terry left the Catskills last night to come back home to deal with this mess. So you tell me, does that sound like the actions of someone who is concerned with the well-being of his child?
Look, like I've been telling everyone, that accident wasn't my fault. The truck driver hit me. I was crossing at a crosswalk, for Christ's sakes.
Daniel, I'm not here to judge you. My job is to help you become a better person. But to do that, at some point, you have to admit that maybe, just maybe, you hold some of the responsibility for all the bad things that happen around you.
Can we just get this started, please? I have things I need to do after this session.
Sure. But after my conversation with Frank yesterday, we think a group session with you, Amy, and Terry would be helpful. So after group, us four will meet.
Oh, come on, Doc. I told you yesterday was an accident. I don't want to meet up with Terry. He's a supervillain, for God's sake.
Number 1, Terry is reformed. He's really trying, Daniel. I don't know why you've reverted back into calling him a supervillain. I mean, even when he was villaining, he wasn't more than a petty thief. Number 2, this is non-negotiable. Frank is mandating this meeting. I'm simply acting as your parole officer requested.
God damn it.
I'm starting to worry about your attitude, Daniel. When we started this, you really seemed to want to work on you. Now I'm not so sure.
Let's just get this over with.
Tired of pussyfooting around, Hero Man pushes past the increasingly bothersome therapist and joins the rest of his group. Little do the other members know that they will soon see the might of Hero Man.
Okay, let's get started, everyone. I think last time we met, Kevin was finishing up telling us about his daily struggles. Kev, you want to pick up where you left off?
I don't have a whole lot more to say. It's just, that sometimes I find myself walking past schools and gyms real slow-like. And, even though my sight is gone, I catch myself staring at the walls. Just, hoping? Wishing?
Wishing what, Kevin? Let's try to be specific.
Well, nothing specific, really. I don't necessarily want to look at the naked people without their permission. That's wrong. I know that. But just to have the ability to do it, that's what I'm missing. I don't miss doing it. I miss knowing I can do it.
Son of a bitch! You still want to be Captain Peepers, you pervert! The only reason you ain't gawking at our dangly bits is because you've been wiped!
John, please, let Kevin talk without attacking him. This is the nest of trust.
Hero Man senses an opening in the melee and jumps in to assist the badge.
Oh my God. Can we please move this shit along? This is pathetic.
Daniel, Please. We have to be here mentally and emotionally for our group mates. These kinds of comments simply aren't helpful. Please try to be supportive.
Hero Man ducks and dodges the ineffectual maneuvers of the therapist. But try as he might, Hero Man can't prevent the melodious madman from jumping into the fight.
Yeah, I'm feeling some real negative vibes coming from Daniel and John, and it's disturbing me.
You do not have the right to call me by my given name, scumbag!
Oh my God, please! I can't take all this yelling.
Oh, for fuck's sake, woman, drop the act! I watched you kill a dozen school-aged children with ball lightning when you were still calling yourself Lightning, and you're telling me a little back-and-forth verbal tete-a-tete gets you all in a tizzy? Drop those waterworks and give it a rest, sister!
That was an accident, you know that! I turned myself in and I volunteered to be wiped, you asshole! I'm trying to get better, I'm trying.
As lightning crumbles beneath the authority of the badge, the therapist retakes control of the dust-up.
Okay, let's all take a breath. I think it might be a good idea just to go ahead and adjourn for today. I'm not sure if we can bring the energy down enough to be productive.
Yeah, we've probably done enough damage here already.
Okay, that's enough. Daniel, let's talk outside. Daniel, I'm extremely disappointed in you. Last time I felt like we were making progress, but this time you were almost as combative as John. I'm going to have to report this to Frank.
Look, Doc, I'm trying, but everything I do seems to be wrong. And I can't just sit by and watch those villains scheme and plot.
Listen to yourself, Daniel. Just listen to yourself. That's absurd. Just go get some coffee or something, okay? We have a little bit of time before Terry and Amy show up for the group session.
Oh, good. I'm so looking forward to that, too. Let's just get this thing over with, Doc.
After having several cups of Juan Valdez's finest, Hero Man bursts through the door to the therapist's office to face his greatest nemesis head on.
Oh, good. You decided to show up.
Amy, Terry, Daniel, thank you so much for being here. I know this kind of group has the potential to be awkward, but given the circumstances, I think this is necessary. First, let's address the elephant in the room. Amy, Terry, I know you're angry with Daniel for yesterday. Can you please tell us how you're both feeling?
I don't think it's hard to imagine how we're feeling, Doctor. First, Daniel agrees to watch Timmy, your only son, Daniel, while Amy and I take some much-needed time to ourselves. Then we're called in the middle of the night to inform us that not only has Daniel been caught superheroing, but he's also abandoned young Timmy. Damn it. For the last time, I was not superheroing. I wasn't. It was an accident. I'm sure that fact comforts the dozen or so people who are now widows and widowers because of you, Daniel. Now you listen here, Ruin. I don't need you.
And Timmy?
Huh?
Terry accused you of abandoning your son while you were off gallivanting around. You said you weren't superheroing, fine. But he also said you abandoned your son.
Yes, Daniel, you left little Timbo all alone. And from what he tells me, this is not the first time you've just left him by himself while you fly off into the night. While we're pointing fingers, why don't we point one at you, huh? You're trying to cuckold me, take my wife, and embarrass me in front of all my fans. He's using you, Amy, to get to me.
Fans? Jesus Christ, what fans? Are you delusional? Daniel, we love each other. We have a positive relationship. This is not some evil plot to get at Hero Man. Get that through your head.
Yes, our relationship is out in the open, Daniel. Out in the open. We take care of one another.
Okay, let's take it down a notch. Terry, why don't you tell Daniel what you told me on the phone this morning?
Yes, Doc, I most certainly will. Daniel, I feel like you're intentionally trying to sabotage our relationship. We planned a very romantic getaway in the Catskills, and you just so happened to get into an accident on that very day. Would you have me believe that was unintentional? Damn it, we've been over this. I didn't mean for any of that to happen. We had tickets for Judd Hirsch, Daniel. Judd Hirsch, star of the stage and silver screen. And we'd booked a lovely little room in a resort, and I'd bought champagne. Champagne and strawberries, Daniel. Fuel for a night filled with physical pleasures. And you ruined it. You ruined it all, you fiend. Seriously, this shit again? You're a selfish man, Daniel. Selfish and diabolical. You deprived us of a wonderful evening. You deprived your son with some quality time with his father, and according to Amy, you deprived her of sexual gratification for years. Amy, what the fuck? Don't try to deny it, Daniel. You are as bad a lover as you are a father, and apparently that super strength of yours doesn't affect stamina or length and girth. That's it. I'm out of here. I don't need this shit. You're lucky, Ruin. You're damn lucky that I don't just smash you through the goddamn floor.
Daniel!
That's all you know how to do, Daniel. You either run away from your problems or you conveniently kill them in some kind of city-wide catastrophe.
Hero Man, stretched to the breaking point, spins on his heels and finally unleashes his full fury at the Red Ruin.
You know what, Ruin? Terry! Ruin! It's Terry now! Shut up. Just shut your mouth. And you know what, man? Fuck you. Fuck you for destroying my life. Fuck you for stealing my wife. And fuck you for poisoning my son against me. You might not be planning on blowing up the city or kidnapping the mayor's daughter or stealing the gold from Megatropolitan's reserves, but you're still a goddamn bad guy. And you know what? I'm on to you. I'm on to all of you.
Hero Man pushes his way past the therapist, Red Ruin, and the X, through the exit into the bright morning sun, to relish his victory over a rogues gallery of baddies. Walking in quiet repose down the sidewalk, Hero Man contemplates his next move, when suddenly, he hears a noise in the bushes next to him. And Better Man appears out of nowhere.
Jesus Christ, you scared me. What the hell are you doing, man?
Been waiting on you to get out of therapy, Chief. Glad to see you put them fuckers in their places.
Were you listening in?
Let's just say I've always got your back, Slick. Listen, some new information has come to light. We gotta pick up Boomerang now.
Whoa, seriously? What's happened?
He's on the move. We gotta make our play.
Now? Like, right now? Damn, man. I'm supposed to pick up Timmy later tonight. If I'm not there, Amy and Terry will probably tell on me again.
Cut him the fuck loose, mijo. That world ain't for you. What the hell is that?
In the distance, our heroes see a bright red object moving ever faster and getting ever closer. Who or what can it be?
No, it's the Ruin on his stupid red motor scooter.
The Red Ruin aims his machine of maliciousness directly at our heroes, but instead of running them down, he stops just in the nick of time.
Hello, Garrett.
Ruin.
Terry.
Whatever.
Daniel, I wanted to apologize for our session. I was perhaps far more aggressive than was warranted, and I don't think I'm being as sensitive to your needs as I can be.
Fuck me. Look at you two. And what the fuck are you driving, Ruin? Didn't you used to have a van?
The Crimson Caravan? Yes. I was loath to part with it, but this is far more economical, and we can spend the money I save on fuel on little Timmy. We take family outings in Amy's electric vehicle. It has a much smaller carbon footprint.
Fucking hell.
You know what? I think I'm done with the therapy, Ruin. I'm not getting anything from it. But Daniel, it's part of the terms of your probation. You'll lose your license. You won't be able to see little Timmy.
Look, Red, you should probably pedal your ass on out of here. Hero Man and I have hero shit to attend to.
I'm concerned about you, Daniel. Garrett is not helping your situation. You should consider whom your friends and family really are, Daniel. Good day, sirs.
The engine of the Red Ruin's cycle of death roars to life, and he expertly navigates away from our heroes.
What a goddamn clown.
I think he means well.
Yeah? Well, check this shit out.
Faster than the human eye can see, but not faster than the supervision of Hero Man, Better Man speeds away to overtake the Red Ruin. In a display of strength and dexterity not seen since the Olympians overthrew the Titans, Better Man paces the ruin, grabs the still-moving tires of his vehicle, and upends it in one smooth move. As the Red Ruin writhes in pain on the pavement, Better Man victoriously tosses his scooter into a muddy ditch before zipping back to stand by his friend.
Holy shit, man. That was awesome. Is he crying?
Yeah, probably bruised his vagina. Come on, boy. Let's go get Boomerang.
Yeah. Let's go be heroes.
And there you have it, Herocolites. The penultimate chapter in this exciting Hero Man tale. Will Hero Man and Better Man lift the veil off the Boomerang's dastardly plan? Will the Red Ruin ever get his scooter clean again? Join us next time for the chilling finale to this chapter of The Adventures of Hero Man. All right, guys. So now they've heard episode 3, right, Mark?
That's it. Yep. Absolutely.
Well, we were saying last week that this is our favorite episode. So I don't know, what's some of your favorite stuff about it? What makes it the best of the 4 for you?
I think for me, we've talked about this before. This is the point in the story where you really get a sense that Daniel has no interest in rehabilitation. He may have at the first episode. It did look like that he was trying to be on the right path, but Better Man's influence is just too strong. And that therapy session where everything just goes awry in group therapy and then in couples counseling, I just love that. I love everything about those sections of this episode.
Yeah, and I really like your performance. We were talking in past videos about how Daniel's a little bit milquetoast, and we wrote him that way, and we wanted him to be that because all the antics are swirling around him, and he's sort of the center. But in this one, you really do get to show your teeth, and it's a moment that I think is really good when you threaten to smash Ruin through the floor, and then Lee has that really good Daniel afterward that really makes it more tense. That moment more tense.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, I just love that little moment. If I only have a minute or so to listen to Hero Man and I'm just wanting to hear one, like that's one of the 60 seconds that I'll just pull up to reminisce because it's a great scene. And then directly after that, of course, you get a little Hero Man, Better Man Ruin scene, which is fun. The scooter. I love your decision that even though we asked Ricky to put in a scooter noise,
yes,
and horn, that you would go like pulling up. It's so good because it just shows like how innocent Ruin is. Like he's not all that bad a guy, even though he was an arch villain. He's having a nice day. Like
yeah, it's fine for him. It's beautiful outside. He can ride his scooter around.
Yep. And he's concerned about Daniel. He wants to help.
I do think that's what we talked about this too. I think that's the important thing about this episode. You do start to realize that the Red Ruin, even though he is over the top and arch, he's the one that has everyone's best interests at heart. Not Daniel, definitely not Better Man. It's Ruin.
Even the planet. He's got the electric vehicle and everything, made sacrifices of his old van, and he just wants everybody to be okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a good guy.
But
when you interrupt his Judd Hirsch time, though.
Well, it's pretty egregious, I say. I can't have a good week without watching an old episode of Dear John.
Well, you know.
I love this one. The tension is amping up, and then of course there's this sort of peripheral storyline going on with this whole Boomerang nonsense. What's happening with Boomerang and what's Better Man learned about this reemerging guy, and that's sort of coming to a head also, and everything's getting tense, building up to the big part 4. Yeah,
and the part 4 again. This is my favorite episode, but obviously I think part 4 is the most important episode. That's where all of these arcs they reach their resolution, and we actually see whether or not Daniel is going to be a good person. I think prior to this, I always got this. We've talked about this before. I always got the sense that as a superhero, he was just one of those really self-important, self-involved heroes. And
The crowds loved him.
yeah,
He fed off of it. Yeah.
and once he ended up injuring people and he got put on this probation, now he has to actually contend with the fact that, am I a good person?
Right.
What does it mean to be a good person with superpowers? And I also
Right.
like the fact that we haven't really even dealt with superpowers at all in the series yet. I mean, there's been like one or two things. But,
We fly. Yeah, we fly. Strength. Daniel doesn't get injured when he's hit by the truck.
right.
Kind of stuff. But you're right. There's no epic fight scenes using powers. There's no, cosmic visitors or anything.
Because honestly, that was the least interesting part to me. And I know it was for you too. And subsequently, there have been other films and stuff that have come out that have kind of explored that theme about what it means to be a superhero, what it would mean to actually have those powers in a human way. But back
Yeah.
then, there really wasn't. I mean, there were some comic books, like
Yeah.
The Boys were out at that time, and there were a few other ones that were kind of like that. I remember there was an old Marvel comic, and I think I told you this. It was called Punch Man.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a one shot, and it was about the superhero with Superman-like powers, but who was a complete irresponsible ass. And I
Right.
remember one scene in that he's flying home and he had been drinking and he passes out while he's flying and smashes into a bunch of buildings. And I thought as a teenager, I thought that was the funniest thing I'd ever heard of, was a
Yeah.
superhero so drunk, he just flies right into a building.
Yeah. And not just irresponsible, but a lot of these characters also just they're oblivious to the world around them. Like we said, the narrator is oblivious to what's actually happening with these characters. Sort of reminds me of The Tick, which was the comic series. I know they made it a cartoon and they've tried to reboot it in several live action series and things. The original comics were great because he had all this power, but he was a big dum-dum. And so he just ran around the city trying to figure out what to do. And he usually caused more problems than than helped anything. And then the ninjas that were trying to battle him, he was sort of like Inspector Gadget, that he would luck into not dying constantly.
That's a good way to put it. Luck into not dying.
Yeah. All right, man. So what else you want to get into before we?
I think the only thing that I probably should reveal that so Serena's art in this one is fantastic, and she was so excited to draw the scene of Better Man throwing Ruin's scooter into the ditch. And the reason for that, and this story, is because that happened to me. I was not the one on the scooter. I was the one instructing someone to take a scooter out from under someone else and throw it in the ditch. And
You were the instigator.
I was the instigator. And so that scene is a very personal one for me.
And you did have a very realistic laugh as Hero Man in that moment.
Because I'm visualizing Johnny falling off of his bike into the ditch.
Is he crying? You said?
Yeah, it was not. I mean, this does not paint me in a good light.
Right.
But in my defense, I was in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, a guy wanted to ride home, and I told him the only way I would do it is if he threw his little brother's bike in a ditch. And
Okay. Yeah.
Curtis not said a word. He heard that, fine. He turned around. Johnny was riding behind him. He reached down just like Better Man does, upended it, threw it right in the ditch, and then got in the truck, and I drove him home. And his house was half a block from the school. Their property line literally hit.
You could see it.
It was right there.
Right. Well, that teenage brain, half of you just doesn't do it because you don't know what people are going to think. But as soon as you get kind of encouraged to do something, it's like, yeah, let's go. Let's see what happens when we do this.
That's right. So whenever Better Man does that to Ruin, my laugh in that scene is probably a real laugh, just imagining what actually happened.
Yeah, and we'll have more time to talk after folks hear 4 and all of that. But I think that each of these characters is getting more and more interesting as it goes. Like we said, Ruin, he's revealing himself to be, a much better person than it originally seems. And Hero Man is on the fence because, of course, he doesn't want to be going through all this. He doesn't want to sit in therapy, and he's got this mentor, this funny, rough and tumble but bully mentor,
Terrible person, yeah.
who's gonna try and take him back to the good old days and let's go be heroes, you know.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I feel like that's a great segue to end this then, because the last episode is Too Many Heroes.
Nice.
And that we'll release that one in 2 weeks.
Sounds good, man. Well, hope folks are excited about it and enjoying it. And Mark, what do we have left to say? Anything?
I don't think so. We're going to have some supplementary material next week where we talk to Brooke, where we talk to Lee, and then maybe the week after that, after E4, we'll talk to Ricky again. Me, you, and Ricky will sit down with a post-mortem type thing.
Nice. Okay, man. Well, folks, thanks for watching. Thanks for staying this long. It means you're not hating it. And we'll see you next time.